Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here from the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Tuesday the 11th of June. Now, it stays a very unsettled pattern. Low pressure is parked across the country, circulating around over the next few days to give some frequent, persistent rain, some heavy and thundery downpours in places at times, and still feeling disappointingly cool. The only glimmer of something improving is that next week looks warmer and there's a chance that things just begin to ease back and settle down. It's a struggle to get there, though, at the moment, with a broad trough of low pressure at upper levels in the atmosphere across northwestern Europe as a whole. Several different centres of surface low pressure, as shown on this synoptic chart, through into Wednesday. A front is rotating gradually northwestwards across the British Isles to give some increasingly wet conditions likely across the eastern and southeastern highlands into the Cheviots too, and there's rain and drizzle most likely on and off across the Lakes, Pennines and Wales. It may break up occasionally. There's the risk of some further pulses of heavy, possibly even thundery rain coming back across the Midlands into Wales and the Peak District as Wednesday goes on. Where it's been persistently wet, very wet conditions underfoot, and some of the streams and rivers are starting to get quite high in places, Wales and the Pennines, especially after recent days. For Wednesday, it's very windy across the Highlands. The north-easterly will be gale force on many of the highest tops for much of the day, less windy further south. Now, the far west and northwest Highlands will have more or less escaped through the previous days, Wednesday included, but by Thursday, a greater risk of fronts just wrapping themselves around and getting further across northern Scotland. A chance may be that the far northwest never quite gets this, but I think the idea of rain spreading to most places is the believable one for Thursday. Some heavy and thundery downpours breaking out at times. Some places will see rain fairly persistent over many hours. The wind maybe not quite as strong as the low just begins to open out. It's going to be a complicated picture. You're not going to get the absolute detail out of it even a couple of days ahead, but it just looks another difficult and poor day to be out on the hills. By Friday, the centre of the low is pulling northwards. The atmosphere, though, is still very unstable and it'll be conducive to showers breaking out and heavy, thundery downpours then getting going increasingly through the afternoon. Those will tend to track from southwest to northeast on the prevailing wind direction. Where the wind is slack across the Highlands, though, in places, you might find that those showers move around really slowly and those thundery bursts could stick with you for a while. Temperatures then still on the cool side. It's a complicated mess, again, onwards into the weekend, a tangle of low pressure and fronts all circulating around themselves, and the message has to be, once again, just areas of rain and heavy downpours with the risk of some thunderstorms in places once again. Temperatures, I suspect, still nothing too special. No warm air has really been drawn in by this stage. If the centre of one of those lows just spins itself together, again, the winds may strengthen. That is going to be a difficulty to pin down at this stage, but the message is one of being unsettled. Into Sunday, and the general view is that low pressure is centred somewhere to the northwest. The atmosphere will stay unstable as a southwesterly pattern. The black dashed line is the presence of a trough, and that's highlighting where showers may just cluster together. Basically, showers will get going pretty widely, again heavy, and potentially with thunder and lightning mixed in places. So I'd like to offer you something a little bit better in terms of summer weather coming. I'm just not able to find it very easily on the chart at this stage. Let's just skip on into next week and see what we've got. It seems as though low pressure is stuck with us. There was a glimmer at one point a week or so ago that higher pressure would more easily get in, but that just seems to have given up, as sometimes is the case in the longer term computer modelling. There's never a definitive answer sometimes. The high does seem to be centred south and southeast of us as we go into the early stages of next week. The trough of low pressure is away toward the west and the north, so a swap around really compared to where the pressure pattern has just been. What that means is the wind direction is the opposite and it will draw in warmer air with time from the south and southwest. Still some instability in that though, with low pressure being nearby, gives the risk of some rain or some showers. Just depends how the lows over the Atlantic behave. At the very least, next week is warmer, most rain and low cloud, focused, I suspect, across western and southwestern facing hills and mountains, driest and clearest conditions more toward the northeast of the Pennines, the Lakes and the Highlands. I think the hint is there that pressure tries to build a bit more as the week goes on. The lows may be just retreating a bit further into the Atlantic and higher pressure toward the southeast of Britain trying to take a bit more hold That's tentative. We might find a few days where drier conditions prevail, particularly England and Wales. It might be a bit more of a struggle to get that fully all the way across Scotland, with the West and North West Highlands at this point being the most likely to see some rain at times. So we're a long way away from the weather that we had at this time last year. For the time being, we're stuck with this rather unsettled trend. A glimmer of improving as we go through into next week, but for the short term, it's unsettled and always the threat of some heavy downpours. That risk of thunderstorms will be around at times then, even onwards through the weekend. Stay up to date with all your local forecasts then on our website. You can follow us on social media as well. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.